From clarkwoods.com, this is Horribly Off Topic, episode number 233. I'm Chris.
And I'm Steve.
And I think, Steve, that given when this is coming out, we should pregame the end game.
No,
not at all. Like, I mean, we pregamed Game of Thrones.
Yeah, because we were recording it like probably a couple of hours before it was going to be on, not a fucking week and a half or so.
It's not a week and a half. I'll have seen the movie. Let's see. Today's Saturday, so Sunday,
if you had
Monday,
bought me a
Tuesday,
ticket, we could have talked about
Wednesday, Thursday, in like 5 days. 5 days and a few hours.
All right. Like I said, if you had bought me a ticket, I would be more excited. But there's a distinct possibility I will not be able to see it on opening weekend.
Oh my goodness, and I'll have seen it twice on opening weekend.
Because Becky doesn't want to go to the Maynard Theater to crowded movies anymore because of the fucking guy that was coughing all over her during fucking Captain Marvel.
Okay, I got it. So you got to go to a nicer movie theater
that doesn't have like quite the proximity between ourselves and other individuals.
And Coffee McGee.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so we won't talk anything about the movie, but I want to get your feelings. This just occurred to me that this is the thing I should ask you about.
Just so you know, it's not just Becky. I would also not want people to cough all over me.
Okay, well, but it seemed like so. If Becky were okay with would you just roll with it?
No.
Okay.
I mean,
so
it's not
she was Becky decision.
She was like, well, I agree with her. Like she brings this thing up, and I'm like, yeah, I would also not want like somebody to be hacking lungs up on me on the back of my head while I'm trying to watch a fucking movie that I am trying to enjoy for 3 hours.
Well, so see, that's what I want to ask your opinion about.
Because, this is something so I said no, but now I'm talking about it.
Well, no. I got to talk about the movie.
Okay.
I want to talk about
because we haven't seen the movie,
right? Well, or about how to prepare for the movie, or things that have led up to the movie, or Infinity War.
Making sure you get the lousiest rappers ever, or like the noisiest, lousiest rappers ever, and then just go during important, quiet plot points.
Okay, so I'm not so worried about when I go and see it on set.
Just chomp. Let me eat this popcorn real loud.
I'm not so worried about when I go and see it on Saturday with my family, because that'll be me seeing it for the second time, and I will have figured out, even though I'm told there's no good bathroom break moment, I will have figured out
just farting and drinking
when I think I can run to the bathroom. But on Thursday night, when I go to see it for the first time, have you gone to a lot of 3-hour movies?
It's been a while. Been a while since I went to the 3-hour movie in the theater. Well, like, how long was the last Infinity War?
That was 2.5, maybe a little bit longer.
Yeah. That one then.
Okay.
And I probably peed at some point.
Yeah.
So you just have to dehydrate yourself.
Coffee, right?
No, because that also makes you need to pee.
Okay.
You could just take caffeine pills with no water.
But it's not even necessary that I want caffeine. I just don't want to have
No. Caffeine dehydrates you.
Oh, okay. So take some caffeine to dehydrate myself.
Right.
Could I get a suit of some kind that I then hook a dehumidifier into, and it just sucks all the moisture out of me into the suit, and then
we could just go to a theater that has like incredibly high temperatures, so you could just sweat it all out.
Sweat it. Okay, sweat it all out.
So you don't have to piss. But it probably would be the most rank theater in the history of time to go to see
Smell-O-Vision.
Opening night, like the smelliest of smelly nerds sweating their balls and or tits off and smelling up this room.
Yeah. Well, I've gotta, I feel like did you see Titanic in the theaters?
I've never seen Titanic.
Okay. All right. I feel like there was an intermission with Titanic. I might be wrong. I feel like there was an intermission with Schindler's List, but I think that might just be because the first time I ever saw Schindler's List was on NBC. They did it without commercials, and they did have an intermission about halfway through. So if you were like needing to do something to make you not want to kill yourself after
or kill Nazis.
being depressed for that long. So I don't. I mean, I get why they don't want to have a bathroom break. Like it's probably not designed for one. There probably wasn't one for Return of the King. And there
was definitely in Return of the King, like plenty of them walking around New Zealand or whatever.
I'm not saying. Sorry. I mixed things up there. There is plenty of places to take a break in Return of the King, but I don't think that the theater actually gave you a break.
What if you got a Kit Kat bar?
I would like to.
Don't just leave it. Just leave it, Chris, and then continue talking. You so don't have to add to it.
It's so hard not to add to it.
I can make a joke and you don't have to add to it.
Or subtract from it.
Right.
Which is more often the case.
If we're being honest. Stop disparaging yourself.
Yeah, I just don't know. I mean, I've developed some strategies over the last few movies that I've gone to see.
Peeing in a cup?
Well, not peeing in a cup.
Get a big gulp. Don't fill it with anything, or fill it maybe 1/4 of the way up, or like right. Like just give me the big cup and a bunch of ice. Dump all of it out, and then you just have this big old cup to piss in a theater. So you could possibly become a sex offender from watching a movie.
I like your line of thinking here.
Yeah, because you have been determined to become a sex offender for years.
Well, yeah, I've always wanted to be exactly like my former brother-in-law, and he was the real man of the family, and he became a sex offender. So
no, but you can become a sex offender for pissing in public. That's what I'm saying.
He became a sex offender for other reasons.
Yeah, well, let's not do that, Chris.
Yeah, I don't want to do that, and I don't want to pee in a theater unless I can get away with it. And not cause anybody any discomfort.
What if you just like started and made an invention called like the pee curtain, so you could basically drape it over yourself like a blanket or something.
Yeah.
But it stays above like your legs, so you don't get pee on it.
Okay.
And it's just like basically you have that, and then you pee in the cup.
Right.
And you're not exposing yourself because your penis isn't out into the world. It is covered by this curtain.
Right.
So you need to create the pee curtain for peeing during a movie, so you don't have to miss any important plot points.
All right. Now, do you think we can improve on? Well, so with the pee curtain, you wouldn't need this. But assuming the pee curtain doesn't get through the FDA or whoever has to approve it.
Yeah, I mean, the FDA, considering it's a food and or drug.
I feel like somebody's got to approve that shit. And I think in the current administration, it might as well be the FDA. It might be fucking NASA. I don't know.
The FDA... The person that actually, I think it was Gottlieb, the person that was the FDA administrator, wasn't one of the worst picks that he's ever had.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Coming from someone who works for the industry, he wasn't a pushover, but he also wasn't like resistant to new drug applications.
Oh, okay. Well, so that's good. All right. So I was making a joke.
But he also resigned. So now we have. But the person that has taken over, like the interim FDA administrator, is also
not bad.
Not bad.
Okay.
So like out of like all of them, like all of the bad picks, like the FDA was probably the least of which.
So what you're saying is that this guy might approve my pee curtain.
No, because it wouldn't have anything to do with food or drugs.
Okay, so assuming the pee curtain for some reason doesn't work out, maybe we have to rethink things, and what we have to do is reinvestigate how to optimize catheter technology. Right? Is there a way to make a catheter less painful? Right?
There's external catheters, Chris. You don't have to put it into your pee hole.
Okay, so
basically you put it on like a condom, and you just piss into it.
Nice. Okay, so now, all right, I'm getting some ideas here. So I need a condom, and I need
no.
A little tube.
You can get an external catheter instead of just fucking trying to MacGyver it.
Okay.
Getting a condom and a tube and some fucking tape? No, that's not going to work.
Well, before we
got in bag.
before we got into any of that, what I was going to say is
MacGyver goes to the movies and has to pee. Oh, luckily I have all these things on me. I can just construct it during the movie.
I think MacGyver goes to the movies has to be a contender at this point. I don't know how to spell MacGyver goes to the movies. I'll figure out how to spell it later. No, so before we got into any of the technology there, I was going to compliment you on your idea.
What, the pee curtain?
About getting the big gulp cup and not putting anything in it. But I think, I might want to have a drink. So
You can get a drink,
right? So you get one. You get two drinks. You get one that's like the small, which is actually like a large, and then you get the
mega
one, and the mega one is what you're going to pee into, and you just have to keep it straight, right? Because most of these places have self-service soda fountains, so you get the one cup. You don't even have to put ice in it or anything.
You just have a cup. Yeah, you just have to pay $6 for a piss receptacle.
Okay, well, I think that's a small price to pay for me not to miss. How long does it take to run to the bathroom in the middle of the movie?
If your theater is close to the bathroom,
yeah,
I would say no more than 1 minute.
Okay, right. Are you washing your hands?
Yes.
Okay.
Quickly, but yes.
Yeah. But if all you're doing is touching your own junk is not dirty.
Yeah, typically not, but I if I'm in an area where I find the things around me to be more gross, then
gotcha.
I will wash my hands before I pee.
Oh, okay. And then after?
It depends. Well, it depends if there's if it's automatic hand dryer.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Because I don't want to have to touch anything.
Gotcha. Okay, so
if I'm peeing at the MBTA, I'm not washing my hands after.
I don't even know where there are bathrooms. Oh, on the train.
No.
Okay.
Where's
their bathroom?
At Alewife Station, there's a bathroom there. I unzip, I piss, and I walk out. I do not wash my hands after pissing there because I'm not touching the faucet there. And I doubt that they have soap in there.
I have blocked that bathroom out of my mind. That for listeners who have never been to Alewife, and maybe it's gotten better over the years.
No.
Okay. So, but for listeners who have never been to Alewife Station, that's how bad that bathroom is. I literally blocked it out of my mind, out of existence until you just.
The last time I was in there, somebody I was walking out after not washing my hands, and someone walked in with a bicycle.
It's, the bicycle has to pee too.
Yeah,
I guess I don't know.
With the amount of bicycles ride bike shares and fucking things, no one's gonna take your fucking bike, dude.
Yeah,
just leave it outside of the goddamn bathroom.
Speaking of bicycles, yesterday, which is not quite the 1 year anniversary of this particular event I'm about to describe. So a year ago, the day after Infinity War came out, I was walking to my class on a Friday, and I got hit by a bicyclist.
So it was a year ago?
That was almost a year ago.
Oh, fun anniversary all around.
April was a really shitty month last year. So except for
is that why we took a break that month? Because I think this was around the time we had
we might have. I was laid up in bed most of that weekend following Infinity War because I've been hit by I was for those of you who never heard the story or have forgotten, I was crossing a crosswalk. I had the little white guy was saying a cross, right?
Why can't it just be a little? Why don't they just change the color of the person so it's more nondescript?
It's a white signal.
Yeah, well, what if you're a person of color and you want to cross the street?
That's a really good question. I'm saying, we should change the color of it.
Why don't we make it green? Because then it
okay.
Then it
I
the
like
little
it.
green man. So okay. it's not anybody except for maybe Martians.
Right.
Color, and there aren't Martians yet.
Okay. That we know of.
Yeah.
All right. So
we'd have to go into the X-Files.
So we'll revise history. In our ideal world, the little green man lights up, which means it's time for me to go and everyone else to fucking stop. And there's it's a busy intersection, and
or maybe blue. Because people like might see green if they're a motorist and be like, "Oh, it's time to go," and then.
But usually the signal is facing.
Yeah, I know what it's facing, but some idiot that's not paying attention that's looking at their phone while they're driving,
or some idiot on a bicycle
sees a green light and it's like, "Oh, it's obviously time for me to go now."
Yeah. Well. So this person,
I'm assuming the person that's that is a bad driver is a man. Sorry, anybody that's offended right now.
Well,
any men drivers that are offended, please. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Well, they're pausing their podcast.
That was like
dictate an email, and they're going to get into an accident.
That was like both attacking men for being upset that anybody else might be upset, and anybody else for being upset. That is like so much layered on top of each other.
It's a layer.
I'm making fun of everyone right there.
You're equal opportunity fun poker.
Yes.
Are you a fun poker? No. So almost a year ago, I got knocked down in the crosswalk by a bicyclist who was not paying attention.
Was he also looking at his phone?
He was not paying. He was not looking at his phone. No.
Oh, that's lucky.
But yesterday I saw a female. I won't assume, but a female presenting cyclist do the exact same fucking thing, and I was about to cross, and if I hadn't been run down once, and now basically every time I cross that crosswalk, which is at least once a day, usually 2 times a day, I am like double, triple checking. And it doesn't seem to matter because bicyclists, a lot of them, obey, and we've talked about this, they want the rules of the road to apply to them when it's convenient, and they want the rules of the road to not apply to them when it's not convenient. So, they will run. And
it's not like you can get their license plate number or whatever, or their insurance info, because they're not
licensed.
Well, yeah, I mean...
I don't think that they should be.
Although you can get a DUI or whatever
on a bicycle
for riding a bike while you're drunk.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I think I probably knew that. I probably had to. Probably one of the many cases.
But if you don't have a license, it doesn't matter. I guess you just get fined.
Yeah.
You can't take your license away if you don't have one.
Well, that's fine. That was me subtracting from it wasn't even a joke. That was me
I did not make a joke.
It was taking something that wasn't meant to be funny and making it even less funny.
Yeah.
So I was not.
You're very introspective today, Chris.
I try. So I mean,
What's going on?
I just
sick of bicyclists. So's the whole world.
I don't want to get hit by a bicyclist again. I have a lot of superstition about anniversaries and bull crap like that. So
just fucking kick their fucking tire out. Like, Jesus Christ. Like,
then I'm the one that's going to get fined. And
no, you're not going to get fined because you're in the right of way.
Yeah, if I kicked a bicyclist down, I would be on the front page of the Boston fucking Herald as like public enemy number 1.
No. You're a white person.
Oh, so I'm sorry.
Not the Herald.
Okay, I would be on the front page. Well, the Phoenix doesn't exist anymore. Maybe the Globe? I don't know. The Globe probably wouldn't give 2 shits.
Like, I think there's enough people that are annoyed with cyclists, that just they'll be like, "I agree with what you did. No, you almost got killed, and you got mad about it, and you kicked their tire."
So what would happen is that I would be on the front page of the Herald as a hero, which would then make all of the people that I love and respect hate me because they understand what a shit rag the Herald is.
My dad gets the Herald.
Your dad listen to the show?
No. He doesn't even know what the fuck how to even get a podcast.
How do I podcast? I want a podcast. Well, you need some microphones. No, I don't want microphones. I don't want to make a podcast. I want a podcast. I don't know. I'm just trying to imagine an old guy trying to figure out how to listen to.
They understand. My dad understands what it is. He understands it's like an internet radio show.
Okay,
but he doesn't have the technology to get. Well, I think he could find your website.
Okay.
But
he knows how to Google.
I don't know if he has the proper drivers to listen to some. Like, I don't know how fucking old his computer is now. It's probably still running Windows 98 or something like that. So I doubt.
That's a pretty good one.
Was it?
I think. Well,
or maybe XP.
XP lasted a long fucking time.
Yeah, that's what we had at my work for a long time.
I feel like 98. It's been a long time since I should tell you about my adventures into Windows land while at the Yankee Candle Factory earlier this week. Yeah, it's way more exciting than me going to Portland and going to.
All right, well, let's talk about candles.
No, but what was I gonna?
You know what? I think Dan and I should resurrect a bit and like because when we used to sit outside the Yankee Candle store at the Pheasant Lane Mall and scream "Candles suck" into the store, we should go to the Yankee Candle outlet and just walk around yelling "Candles suck."
Well, I mean,
until we are physically removed.
If you did it with picket signs or something, peaceable protesters, you could get away with it.
Okay.
I don't know.
Well, I mean, it is private property.
Right. That's true.
So they don't have to allow us to be on the premises.
What if you? I mean, I don't know if you've been there, but it's adjacent to the.
It's been a long time. I'm trying to block it out. Yeah, all the smells.
The road is right there, right? So if you stand on the curb with your sign and yell "Candles suck,"
we should
really
do this because this is the most. I guess in the time that we live in, it is probably one of the most absurd protests that could that could occur. Like a bunch of people that are mad about candles.
Would your signs just say "Candles suck"?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Like nothing fancy. Not like
Yeah. Candles suck. I think that could be cool. What was it that I was going to talk
about? My niece was burned by one of your candles.
Windows 98. That's what it. Windows 98 and XP. I was going to say I'm no Windows expert. I haven't used Windows on a regular basis in 10 plus years. But I think 98 was good and XP was even better. The two of them together were just solid. They got infected by tons of fucking viruses.
Yeah, it was like peanut butter and mayonnaise.
You had to reinstall the entire operating system once every 6 months because your machine would get crudted up. But other than that, they were great.
Yeah, I mean, if you weren't going to so many porno sites, Chris, maybe you wouldn't have that problem.
Well,
we know Clark.
Somebody. So I.
Is that back?
No. Well, so I in my research on how I'm supposed to use Instagram, and I would love for Becky to tell me sometime how wrong I am.
She just got home, so maybe she will after we do a show.
No, at any rate, no. So I one of the bits of advice I saw at some point was you should have your own hashtag, and so in my profile I added.
Was it really dumb and long?
No, it was We Know Clark.
Oh, okay.
And so and I'm the only one that's ever used it until this week. Some random person who's a writer used it, and I said, okay. It was like, so I commented on the post where they tagged it, which I think is what you're supposed to do, and I said, hey, just stopping by to say hello. I noticed you used my hashtag, and then they gave not quite a defensive response, but it was like, well, of course, this is why I'm using your hashtag. I'm a writer, and you must understand why I'm using it. And it made no sense, their response. I was like,
so it was something the president might say.
Yes.
I can do tiny political humor.
Yeah.
Without us delving into how much of a fuckwad he is.
You do tiny humor about his tiny hand. No.
See?
Subtract. So I was in Yankee Candle.
You were?
I was in
what town?
East Bumfuck? I don't know. West Bumfuck, sorry. It's in the western part of the...
part, like close to UMass Amherst, right?
Yeah, something like that.
So if you're ever in Massachusetts and you want to do a little bit of touristy stuff outside of the city, then go over to Amherst or approximately.
Yeah, it's something...
And go and look at every candle you'd ever want to look at.
It's like South Deerfield or something, or West Deer. I don't know. It's fucking Deerfield, but not Deerfield, New Hampshire. Something like that.
What? It's there's multiple.
There is another Deerfield. Yes.
Yes. There's also
hard to believe. There's a lot of Springfields.
Yes. That's why, I think that's why Matt Groening chose Springfield as the name of the town.
Could be anywhere.
Could be anywhere, but I think it ended up that it's actually in Oregon.
Yeah.
Or Oregon.
Oregon.
Where you were.
I went to Oregon. But let's talk about candles instead.
All right, fine.
So
we're teasing your Portland trip until no one wants to hear about it
Nobody
anymore.
wants to hear about it anyway.
I do.
Okay. Candles. I'll see if I can make this quick, but so...
You don't have to make it quick. It could be as long and boring as you want it to be, Chris.
Thank you. Oh, I'm so glad that you respect how long and boring I am.
You're welcome.
My wife likes how long and boring I am.
So the candle place.
The candle place. So Stephanie had wanted to go to the candle place for the last couple of like long weekends or vacations or whatever, and it so happened that this past
Please say you didn't buy any candles.
We bought a lot of candles.
Oh fuck.
Yeah. Kids made candles, and we did the whole kettle of fish, whole kettle of wax.
They
ball
dip
of
them?
wax.
Like, were they dippies?
Yes, Melody did a dippy one. They also had one where you got the Yankee Candle style jar and you went over.
Were you standing next to her while she was doing the dippy one? So she was standing next to the dippy one doing the dippy one?
Yes.
Okay. And?
Yeah, you could get the sort of standard size Yankee Candle jar and go up to this you know what, when you go to like I don't know how to describe it, a big vat of wax. Right?
Yeah, I often go up to big vats of wax.
I'm thinking of like pancake batter or like other things where like
that's in a giant vat that I'm
in a giant vat, and you put your whatever underneath it and you press a lever and it. Yeah, so that's how these things work.
It was like,
yeah. So you would go up to like a Slurpee machine.
Okay.
Only
with candle goo.
Only it's candle goo, right? And so you go over to the candle goo that you want, and you push down on it, and you get a little bit of candle goo. You go to the next one, and you get a little bit of candle goo until you've got your rainbow candle goo thing, and then you bring the candle goo over to the heater where they go ahead and make it a solid thing that you can take.
Why would they need to heat it if it's already like in a warm state of?
I don't know. Maybe it's not even goo. Maybe it was more like powdered or something. I don't
powder. Like, so that you would have to add liquid to it then.
Maybe, I don't know.
Did you not do this thing?
I was not paying much attention because I was wandering around doing other things in the Yankee Candle store, looking in for particular scents.
Trying to find a place to pee publicly.
Oh, no.
Well, I've got a solution for you, Chris.
Pee in a candle jar?
Pee in a candle jar and use the patented Steve's piss curtain.
Well, so while I was wandering around the candle place, I was fiddling with my phone because that morning...
I thought you were going to say something else. Your sex offender determination.
God. So I've been working with a program called Dad's 3D, which is a 3D program. People who follow my Instagram have seen art that I've made.
Yeah, the booby art. Yeah.
I know. I did the one with the booby, and I'm sorry.
Don't be sorry for something that you created that you're proud of, Chris.
But you're making me sorry. You're making me feel like I shouldn't have had these two women who love each other have one of them grab the other one's boob.
I'm fine with what you did. I just love making fun of you for it.
At any rate, this program works okay on my Mac, but I was researching because it was at a candle place, and it's fun for a little bit, and then I was bored. So I'm fiddling around and trying to research how can I make the program work better. There are external graphics processing units, which kind of work with the Mac, but kind of don't. There's gigantic Windows machines you can build. So I went down the rabbit hole of trying to figure out how to run either build a Windows computer or run Windows on my Mac. I can run Windows on my Mac, and I, maybe we'll investigate that at some point. But not the fun part of the story, because none of this is fun or funny. I get that. Thank you for indulging me.
I've been just staring at you for a while.
But I
feel bad now that I made fun of you on 5 or 6 separate occasions about your booby drawings.
I have no idea how. So everybody who uses this program seriously is all like, you need a Windows computer to do the to do the rendering and things like that. You need basically a gaming computer with a gaming computer's quality of video card.
Yeah, because you need to, like, if you were going to make graphics for games,
Yes.
for your gaming computer,
Right. And
with the best graphics and boob touches. You know, I don't like the mediocre graphics where you don't get to see the boob touch, where they put a big black bar over the boob. I like it when I get to see the boob graphics. It's the best kind of graphics. Just stop typing. It's fine.
Okay. So everyone agrees that a Windows
I don't know why the fucking graphics guy's from Chicago. I need to eat a fucking sausage and look at booby, graphics.
When I got my iMac upgraded, I sent it to the Midwest. So maybe the Midwesterners just know about graphics cards.
Yeah, or tits,
I guess. But you've ordered it's not in here anymore. Oh no, it's over there. Your computer that's in the box.
It's not ordered. It was just,
right.
Just, we have it.
Okay. So you get a computer, right? A Macintosh.
Yes.
Okay. You either go to the Apple store or you go to the Apple website, and it's pretty easy. There's like only there's only so many options, right?
I think the problem with everything, or most of the things that I've bought from Apple, have been phones, and that has an extra layer of complexity to it because you have to have a certain provider and yada da da da.
Right.
So I've usually not gone to the Apple store to get those. I've usually gone to my cell phone provider to do that, and I'm not going to give them a plug because they charge me way too much fucking money.
Okay. Well, so if you're going to buy a computer from Apple, I don't know. There's like a throat bubble and everything. It was. If you're going to buy a computer from Apple, your options are limited, and people are upset about that. But at least it's simple, right? You're like, all right, what kind of graphics card do I want? What kind of processor do I want? How much memory? How much storage do I want? And what size screen? If it's one that has a built-in screen, which nearly all of them do. So that's easy. But if you, like me, are in the Yankee Candle store and bored out of your mind and
I'm hoping that I don't run into the same problem that you had. Like, okay. I'm thinking, like, I mean, my wife might hear this conversation that we're having,
right,
and then she might, be like, that would be a thing to do when I have a day off.
Yeah, we'll go to
that that she could be like,
okay.
oh, I'm going to Yankee Candle and buying all the candles and that she might want without me being nearby.
Got it. Oh, okay.
Unless she really wants me to go to the candle store.
It can be a nice couples experience.
There's an arcade bar not far from there as well, so maybe I could get just dropped off there.
At the arcade bar. Or the Butterfly Place.
That's in Westford.
No, there's a Butterfly Place right down the street from the Yankee Candle place.
Oh, wow.
But Melody would not go in it because she's terrified of all bugs, including butterflies. So I got to sit in the car and I think I was done looking at Windows computers by that point. But at any rate, I'm in the Yankee Candle and I'm thinking, all right, I got to find out how to make a really great fucking Windows computer so that
What's your candle budget per year?
I don't know. Stephanie buys the candles, and this is not to get horribly off topic, but when Stephanie and I and the kids go out shopping somewhere, I can't be near the register when the total is announced. So I walk away and go as far away as possible.
Why is that?
I don't know. It's just it has saved our marriage. It's an exaggeration, but at some point, when I was not medicated and not doing therapy, I was much more of an asshole without even intending to be when I would make a grunt or a sigh or whatever when I'd see the price. And so I
understand because like I'm a renowned skinflint. And for those of you that don't understand what that expression comes from, like you would you use flint to would light fires,
right?
And you would basically wear down that piece of flint to basically the consistency of a layer of your skin.
Got it.
So if you're a skinflint, you're frugal.
You're a penny pincher.
Yes.
Okay. Is there more? Was there more?
No.
Oh, okay.
But I understand where you're coming
understand where
from
I'm
because,
coming
like,
from,
you know, when even
and I'm not
despite the fact that, you know, we're doing well.
I'm not even that frugal. It's just it would always be an awkward thing. So I would feel tense about it, and I'm not even meaning to feel tense about it because I don't think she overspends. It just something would happen, and so I walk away.
You should just look at the credit card statement and be like, "We spent what on fucking candles?"
So anyway, I don't know how much she spent on candles. I have not.
It was
reconciled
probably well over $500.
I usually do I use Mint for our budgeting, and I look at that stuff on Sunday.
Do they have like a column for like on Mint for candles?
You can add one. So I'm in there, and here's my point. I'm in the Yankee Candle, and I want to find how to build a good Windows machine. And I can't fucking figure it out because it's so goddamn convoluted. There's so many options. I just want somebody to be like, okay, and this is what PC people say about Mac people. They're like, it's a computer for preschoolers. It's this, it's that, it's the other. And like, it's not a computer for preschoolers. It's just that I can't deal with that many options.
Yeah, that's what I think why Mac has, or well, Apple has succeeded over the years, where like the Windows-based machines have kind of gone into sort of like.
Yeah,
not. I mean, they still exist. They're always going to exist.
Yeah,
especially because of most businesses still have those goddamn fucking ThinkPads.
Well, but even Microsoft has recognized what Apple did with all of their Surface, you know, their Surface Books and their Surface Book Pros and whatever. So it's not just Apple. The whole industry has kind of gone, and Google Chromebooks and things. But there's so many options, and there's no centralized place to go and say, okay, what I want is a tower computer with the best graphics card I can possibly get that supports this 3D program and plenty of space.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I want. What do I do? And the problem is that I will just get carried away and crank everything up to its max because I don't understand anything about how to build a PC anymore.
I mean,
and I end up with
I don't think I ever did. So
this like $8,000 to $10,000 computer. I'm like, that's not. I just want a box I can put, and when I'm done doing the creative stuff on my Mac, it's just a dumb workhorse. That's what I need, a dumb workhorse to do my renders. So, but
just stick with your computer and complain about how it crashes.
Yeah.
How about just do that instead of spending $8,000?
I think that might be what I do. Yeah. Well, and actually, I can get past the crashes, and my computer renders just fine if I leave it overnight. It's just there's a slowness to it, right? Is I have to basically do one thing a day, and then at night before I go to bed, turn it on, let it run all night, and by the time it's done the next morning, I have something that looks exactly the way I want it to.
All right, so, but you know, you're Veruca Salt. You want it now, Daddy.
I do want it. I want it now. I want it all.
They just came out with the Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory pinball machine.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it good?
I haven't played it yet.
Okay. Does it look good?
I mean, it looks all right. It's a Jersey Jack. It's one of the from that particular company. It's so like they have a. I don't know. Their multi-ball call-outs are probably more subdued than I've ever heard from anything.
Are they using graphics or photography from either of the Willy Wonka movies? Or
they're using the actual film, like on the you know, a lot of modern pinball machines have like a screen now, instead of like, you know, just a DMD. Display, so it's got, you know, actual clips from the movie.
Okay, got it.
It's Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, not Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
So we're talking like the Gene Wilder. Okay.
Right.
Got it. I can't.
I think the tilt call out is you get nothing. Good day, sir.
I tried watching the Johnny Depp one. Have you tried watching?
I watched it. I think I saw it in the theaters, and I was less than impressed. I think I tried one more time after that, because like maybe I thought that I was giving it short shrift.
Yeah,
and I didn't. It was just bad.
I always wanted to, and if I hadn't already come up with a band name for my novels, there's a band in my novels and short stories already. Not that there can't be another one, but
there's only one band per story.
There's only one band per fictional universe. No, I always wanted to have a band called Augustus Gloop or Gloomp, because there was a band called Veruca Salt, and I just thought, I would like to have a Veruca Salt cover band called Augustus Gloop.
All right. How about
it'll never happen.
Violet Beauregard?
Yeah, I mean, I guess that would be. See, I couldn't do that. I feel like a band called Violet Beauregard would have to be an all-female band like Veruca. Well, I think.
Isn't that just being gender specific, Chris?
I just think
you could be the one fella in a majority.
Okay, so
band.
I could be the what's his butt in Hole.
Sure.
Yeah, the band Hole was all women except for the guitar player.
Okay.
At least during the lineup.
Do you play the guitar?
No. I've tried.
Your brother kind of did.
Yeah. I mean, I would pick his up, and I would, I don't even know that I ever learned to play a fucking bar chord. It hurt my fingers too much. My delicate little.
You got to build up a callus, Chris.
Yeah. No, that's why I started trying to learn how to play the piano, which I didn't really finish learning how to do either. But
wants an accordion, maybe someday.
I was saying that's what got me on the 3D and the music. I walked by your refrigerator. There's a picture of you with an accordion, and
from my 19th birthday.
And I was saying to you that I don't have in Daz 3D, the program that I use, I don't have an accordion prop yet. So if I ever wanted to make Steve on his 19th birthday in the 3D, I need to go find an accordion. Or if I just wanted to have somebody play an accordion.
Or if you could just use that picture because it exists. You don't need to make a 3D rendering of a picture that already exists.
But if I want to turn it around or what, see, here's the other problem with me is that I forget exactly what you just said, and I'm always like, I gotta recreate it. I gotta do it the hard way. I always gotta do it the hard way, and I could just take that fucking photo and composite it in Photoshop, which I'm also learning and getting good at.
Yeah, do that instead, and then you could, I don't know.
Yeah.
Put some music bars coming out.
I could have you standing next to Al Yankovic. You guys duetting on your accordion.
Yeah, back to back, like a movie poster or something like that.
One of you would probably have to be, well, I don't know. Maybe I could.
He could be like.
There's probably plenty of pictures of him with an accordion, so I have to find him facing the opposite direction.
No, but facing the opposite direction, but with his head turned around.
Right. So I have to find a very particular, or I have to make a 3D model.
I think you could probably find that photo.
Okay. Because he's Al Yankovic.
Find that photo.
Spatula City, Spatula City, Spatula City. I don't know anything other than that part.
Hi, this is Cy Greenbloom, owner of Spatula City. I like their spatulas so much, I bought the company. Spatula City!
Spatula City! That's one of Rambo something. It's like Rambo 15. No, what is it? I don't know. I remember some of the.
No, that was him being Rambo was part of the movie, but then there was Gandhi 2.
Gandhi 2. Okay, Gandhi.
No more, Mr. Passive Resistance.
Have you ever played? Maybe we've talked about this. You ever played Civilization?
I played the original Civilization, and I got one for my Game Boy, my DS, not the 3DS, the regular DS, and it was basically the same game. Yeah. But I never liked the sort of 3D-ish civs.
Well, you just brought up Gandhi, and that makes me think of the sort of infamous thing about Gandhi in Civilization is apparently there was. I don't know if it started off as a bug and then they just embraced it over time, is that Gandhi is one of the rivals most likely to do a nuclear strike on you if you're playing in a game of Civ with Gandhi. Something like that. It's just like, it doesn't make any sense, and yet they were like, well, it has something to do with maybe, I think it was maybe like their they had the parameters for like how peaceable somebody was, and like there was a glitch, and so he was so peaceable that in certain circumstances he would, he'd push the button and nuke everybody.
I remember, and he was actually back in town. Kyle was back in town. On Thursday, and we ended up not going out just because I'm an old person and I didn't feel like it.
But you saw him?
I did not.
Oh, okay.
But so back at Will's house, back in the day at Will's house, we had Civ 1.
Okay.
And he used to like playing it, and so like Will just basically hacked the text of like the world leaders that would come along and just basically just insult Kyle, like say Kyle is such a blah blah blah.
That's funny.
Yeah.
That's
I imagine some of the things that he said were homophobic, but I will refrain from.
We were all kind of dumb back then.
Yes, I mean it was 20-something years ago.
I wonder. I don't know if you'd be able to say this, or we'd actually have to ask Will. We've talked in the past. We were both, and I almost said their last name. I probably shouldn't say their last name.
Yeah, don't say their last name.
We were friends with two brothers, Paul and John. Not my brother John, but Paul's brother John. And John was my year, and Paul was your year, right? Paul was your year. Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know. I was like, was he in the middle or something? Okay. And I went over, I met John when I went to middle school, and I went over their house a lot and would play games on their computer. And in fact, I think there would be times where I would just get left alone in their computer room playing games on their computer. And I don't know why that happened. Maybe John was bored. He had something else to do. I don't know. But you bringing up Kyle playing Civ at Will's
we would
house.
Still be in the room, and so when we get to that point, we could at least hear him mad at us
right.
for fucking around with him.
Well, so my question has to do with so I'd say I didn't know Will all that well at that point, but I know that Will, John and Paul, my other friend John, the people who had computers earlier than the rest of us. I wonder how they felt when we would come over and get obsessed with some thing that they showed us. Like my other friend John, I would go over his house and it wasn't AOL, but it was some sort of dial-up, and he was the first person to show me the internet, and I would not want to get off the.
I mean, until you did.
I didn't know you could get off to the internet until I did. No, but I just wonder how they. I'd love to talk to them about that someday in terms of like, did they feel used in a way that like because did they love the fact that part of the way that they got people to hang around long enough for them to realize that they were cool is that they had the cool gadget, right? Like I think Will would be cool regardless of whether or not he had a computer. But I don't know that
you have hearts in your eyes for Will, and have for a very long time.
I think me and my friend, the other friend John, there was a lot of I think John had hearts in his eyes for Will, and it kind of passed on to me
Through osmosis.
Through osmosis, yeah. No, I just mean, I don't know. I already said what I mean. I wonder what they thought about.
I mean, I remember
people coming over and hogging their computers and not actually hanging out with them.
Well, yeah, I mean, I remember going over to Will's house, and we would just go, and we would usually, like, one of us would play a game, but usually the others that were there would be there watching or whatever.
Right.
Like we play XCOM or like fucking TIE Fighter or some fucking thing. Okay. And then like he had access to the internet prior to like the World Wide Web, kind of.
Oh, so he had like BBSs and
yeah, and like so like we would be online, but like didn't look anything like we would like, be doing shit from like a DOS prompt, and I'd be like and I'm like I had no clue what was going on. So like man,
I think John. I think John had that, but by the time I met John and saw what he had, it was like one step. It might have even been AOL. It looked very similar to what I would see on AOL like a couple of years later when I had it. But
I remember like being at Paul's house and like Dan would be like in just AIM chat rooms or whatever, and that's when we got the lyrics for "Get Federal with Me." There was this lady named Ruth, and she was just annoyed by Dan and the things that he was saying, and like that's like we just kept on like being like, it's like, "Oh, Ruth, you're so hamburger," and she was just like, "What?" And we're like,
that's
"Get federal with me, baby." Or just like that. So like that, like the shit that he was typing to her, like that's like a lot of those things are like the lyrics, to "Get Federal with Me."
Wow. That's funny. It's the early, I don't know. We all have nostalgia. I guess everybody has nostalgia for certain periods in high school, and not actually like high school, but like the friends and whatever that you were hanging out with outside. And I don't know. Maybe it's just because I'm getting old, but I look back on those times and wish I could go back and relive them a little bit differently. Because you describing that interaction where somebody would play a game and the rest of you would watch is very different from what I feel like I experienced with friends, where and maybe it's either that A, I had shitty friends, or B, I was a shitty friend. But a lot of times it would be, or I was just shitty at video games and they couldn't bear to watch. Like if I got a hold of their computer, I would sit there and I'd want to play forever. And they would be bored pretty fucking fast. And
I remember this was after high school, but like I remember we were all obsessed with playing Castlevania Symphony of the Night at a certain point.
Yeah.
So there would be times where like it would be kind of like a LAN party, only not a LAN party. Each of us would bring a television. I think Bill brought his and his PlayStation. I brought mine and my PlayStation.
Yeah.
We'd go over to Paul's house. We'd like all be playing Symphony of the Night on different televisions in the same fucking room.
And see, that's you mentioned that I had hearts in my eyes for Will. I think what it really is that I had not jealousy, but a lot of envy for my brother, you guys, that whole thing. And I don't know, it was maybe because socially I was awkward for longer, and so I didn't get any of that in high school. By the time I had any friends, I was already kind of into college, and we didn't hang out. I don't know. I'm just always envious of other people, and I'm not happy enough with what I have. And
It's
just
fine, Chris. It's okay to be green with envy.
It's not easy being green, though, Steve.
Is that the perfect segue? If you want to send us an email.
No, we have like 8 minutes.
Oh fuck.
No, I mean we could stop there. It'd just be a short episode.
No, we can go. I think it's important to give people at least 8 more minutes of bullshit.
Well, we didn't talk about Portland, and
we can
talk about Easter.
Do you want to talk about Easter?
I don't know.
What are you guys doing for Easter?
We're gonna have some family over and do an Easter egg hunt. And apparently,
are they going to be like plastic eggs filled with candy or whatever?
Yes.
Do you follow on Twitter? There's a guy. It's Obvious Plant.
Mm-mm.
If you don't, please do, because it's fucking amazing. He like creates fake products and just puts them into dollar stores.
Oh God.
And like one of them was like Easter egg, and it was like filled with spiders or something. So it's just a plastic Easter egg, but like the package says it's filled with spiders, and you're like, you'll get the kid this time or whatever. So yeah, please follow Obvious Plant on Twitter.
So we'll have an Easter egg hunt.
Speaking of Kermit, one of the products was like Muppet screens, and it was just an empty bag.
Wait, Muppet Scream?
Screams.
Oh,
like
Did it at least have a face on it, or like?
It had a picture on it. I think on the package, so it didn't just like he does like the packaging that would be on toys that you would find at like Osco Drug.
Yeah, but when you open it, is it just a paper bag?
I'm assuming, but there was like some that are just like actual like dolls or action figures or something like that. But it's like but he the text that he puts on.
Yeah, he does great graphic design for the package.
Yes, which makes it fun.
That is fun.
Fun for everyone. And I imagine maybe some of the products that are inside too, because like to make shit like that, I think having a small 3D printer would probably be very beneficial.
You know what I saw the other day? Probably at Yankee Candle.
A 3D printed candle?
Not a That's probably possible.
Probably possible? It is definitely possible.
Well, no, what I saw is, so I was looking up, there's all these technology. I think FaceGen is the
you get a candle that's 3D printed your face?
It's FaceGen is the thing where you take a picture of your face and the FaceGen molds it onto a 3D model so that you can have a 3D model that looks like you or like anybody you can get a picture of.
Like a 19-year-old Steve playing an accordion?
Yes. And so, but what I was looking at, I was looking for motion scanners or like consumer level versions of the things that they use to make Mark Ruffalo the Hulk. Basically, was what I was looking for, and I came across this thing that is apparently in malls, not any malls near us, but in malls across the country and across the world.
You investigated to see if you could go to a mall nearby to do this?
Well, I didn't get that far. I'm assuming it's that something this cool is not near.
Yeah, why would it be in a very urban area like of eastern Massachusetts? Like,
they say all over the world? That probably means at this point, fucking New York and San Francisco and Los Angeles.
New York and California.
Yeah. At any rate, what it does is it scans you, full body scan, and then it 3D prints you.
Lieutenant full body?
Lieutenant Colonel full body.
Oh, I thought he got demoted actually.
He might have.
Yeah, after the Baratier incident.
Yeah, well, the Baratier, I mean, you and I remember Baratier very differently.
Yes, I mean, who wouldn't remember the sea restaurant as...
Well, you call it a sea restaurant, I call it an ocean restaurant. I mean, the ocean, the sea, they're two very different things. I mean, they're kind of
They just expanded, so it's fine.
The sea expanded into an ocean?
No, the fucking restaurant did.
Oh, okay. Well, so it expanded into the ocean.
Yeah, actually.
Yeah, all right. Can you like dine under the sea with Ariel and King Triton, Sebastian?
Yes. And
oh my goodness. Yeah. So what are you doing for Easter?
We're going up to Becky's family's is having some steak, and because everybody knows that they eat steak on Easter. Have some steak and veggies.
And not ham steak, like steak.
Steak.
Cow steak.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so jealous. I mean, my mom makes a good spread. I just like, I don't know. I'm not the biggest ham person.
Yeah, I've never been a ham person much either. I'd rather pork if I'm going to eat something off the pig.
Yeah, pork, bacon. Yeah.
Yeah, just ham, not so much.
No. I mean, what is this? Steak. What's in it? Cow. Tommy Lee Jones. One of the best supporting moments in the MCU when he does that. I'm not talking about.
I don't remember that.
It's from Captain America, the first Captain America.
Oh God, I fell asleep during that one. I don't actually remember. That is one of the ones that I should probably rewatch because I do not remember that one.
It's good. I think it's.
I think I just when I watched it, I just drank too much, and I just fell asleep halfway through.
It's way better than Thor. And those because Thor was the other one where you fell asleep.
No,
right?
Thor Ragnarok was the one I fell asleep.
Thor: The Dark World.
No, yeah. The Dark
Ragnarok's
World.
the latest.
Sorry, no.
Yeah.
I liked Ragnarok.
Yeah.
The Dark World is when I fell asleep.
Okay,
but I don't think I missed anything.
No. I mean, I think it's probably controversial to say. I think you'd be better off watching The Incredible Hulk than watching Thor: The Dark World.
I have never seen that one, so
yeah. They had a. So they had a like sort of build up to Endgame trailer that was mostly just clips of.
It was build up to Buttercup
to all of the 20-something films that have come out so far, and they included the Incredible Hulk, but they had the logo for the Incredible Hulk, and I think they had a shot of General Ross and then footage of the Hulk from other movies. So they didn't show any footage from the Incredible. Maybe the General Ross moment was from because he's the only actor who they carried over from those films. So yeah, that was that was an interesting moment for me as a MCU aficionado, connoisseur.
I can imagine you must have been.
I was maybe creaming my corn.
You can't finish it with that.
No, but I can say that you can find the show notes for this episode at clarkwoods.com/hot/233.
I thought you were going to hit the button to stop the show. I'm like,
no.
And you can email us. The email address is hot@clarkwoods.com.
And we would really appreciate it if you left us a review. I have found that you're supposed to say this. Is this a thing? It's in the podcast bylaws. You're supposed to say, leave us a review on iTunes.
Yeah, on iTunes or whatever podcast app you're kicking around on. If you're one of those Droid users.
Well, I think
Do those still exist? Droid phones?
I think probably. I mean, they're.
When I had the Incredible,
was it incredible?
It definitely did that Droid every time it fucking started up, and it was obnoxious.
Yeah. Was it what? I mean, what would have been better? What noise would have been better than just a droid?
I think the dull thud of an animal falling off of a building would be better than that noise.